So I was looking for something. You didn't have to think, a little action, right? Something fun. So people, I checked out Centauro. Hmm. I think that's how you pronounce this. It's Centauro. Centauro, right? It's a remake of a 2017 film called A Burnout from director Yann Gozlan. Right, this new film, it is directed by uh, Daniel Calparsoro. Um, it is written by actually, it looks like Guzlan came back to write this one, along with Guillermo Lemans and Simon Mutiero. It's based on a book from Jeremy Guz. Okay, so it is produced by Gaël Nouaille, executive produced by Laurent Baudens and Adria Mons. It is line produced by Louise Mallet. Cinematography is Jesu Inchesiku. Edited by Antonio Frutos. Casting is Miria Jarez. Production design is Anton Laguna. Um, and the film, it is starring Àlex Monner as Rafa. We have got Begoña Vargas as Natalia. He's the mother of his child. Let's say that. His son is I think his son is Matteo. I think it's Matteo. Fuck. God damn it. Who's played by Abraham Perez Fernandez. We have Carlos, one of the drug barons, who's played by Edgar Vitorino. Carlos Bardem plays Bureau, another drug cartel personos. We have Jairo, played by Sebastian Contescu. Tico, played by Anderson and Brian Gonzalez Montoya. Cortez, Rafa's friend, played by Dola Selamuni. Valderrama, played by Big Louise. Regina Cotas, played by Patricia Vico. She's the racing team owner. Alan Morales, played by Ruben Cortez. We have Nelson, played by Guillermo Munez Torres. Tony, played by Ruben Santiago Cortez. And Comisario Garcia, played by Pedro Casablanca. Okay. Now, the gist of the film, people, is this. Addicted to strong emotions and speed, Rafa struggles to become a professional motorcycle racer until he discovers that his son's mother owes a debt to drug traffickers. To keep his family safe, Rafa decides to put his talent as a runner at the service of the criminal organization. A circuit racer by day, reckless kamikaze by night. Rafa is soon forced to make decisions that will change his life forever. There you go. So, I mean, people, right? What you may assume from that synopsis is essentially what we get with this film. You know, there's bike chases. Well, I suppose you could say car. A car is often chasing the bike, right? So there's that. There's pursuits in the street. There's some guns, all of that kind of thing. You know what I mean? A lot of action. Um, Story wise, I mean, the story is pretty thin. It's pretty thin, and I think you know where this is going, right? I mean, there's stuff which could, I mean, I feel it could be compelling, but it doesn't really go beyond the surface, right? So, Rafa and Natalia, you know, they obviously, it looks like they dated, but then when the kid was born, he dusted. Now we never know why, right? That's the big thing. It's just they don't say why. She hates him at the beginning, but it doesn't really seem to take a lot for those feelings to change, right? Which is a bit like, I mean, you hate something, and now suddenly you don't. Like that was mad quick. Look, uh, feelings can change for sure. It would have been nice to have, a little nuance with that. You know what I mean? This story unfolding, which would have added more to what's going on, right? So even though, story wise, this is, by the numbers, right? If you create that emotional connection, right? Add that depth to the story, it elevates it. You know what I mean? That's what happens. But we don't get that. Right? We then have this subplot where he's being approached by, a major team, right? Being approached by a major team to try out for them after he lost the race. So you kind of feel, okay, why? Now, the woman's like, oh, I see something in you. Fine. Okay. But then throughout this whole process, she's like, hey, step aside. I want to talk to you. And having these conversations. And it's a bit like, why would she put all of this effort into him over the other people trying out for the team? Because, if she favors him so much, just give him the gig, like they've seen him race. So you either think he can do it or you think he can't, right? But you see him race. You know what I mean? So that whole situation, it's a very, and especially how it kind of ends. It's a real odd plot point that you kind of figure is just like, do we need this? Is this adding anything to this story? I don't know, right? I don't really know. The whole drug dealer situation, again, you know where it's going. It is, essentially predictable, and it's kind of surprising that the everyone involved, I mean, they're not like, okay, we know where this is going. So even if these things happened, right, with Natalia, if she had been like, look, I knew this could be a, what I mean, a consequence, but I put this in place and this to try and fault it, but someone, you know what I mean? something, right? If Rafa had tried to maybe tape conversation or something, you'd be like, okay. But we don't get that, and we just have people being like, oh, I'm surprised. And it's just like, come on, right? You motherfuckers, you would have read books, right? You would have watched films, TV. It's a story that is being told in many formats, right? So when people would be like, oh, I had no clue this might happen. You just be like, really? Like, really? Like, where did you think this was gonna go? Right? What did you think would be the end goal here? Right? Huh? It's always a little bit baffling. Ain't gonna lie. Right? So you get all of this. The whole situation, right? The whole courier situation, you think, well, when you know the police are there, surely you'd have several bikes, right? So your person isn't being seen on the same bike constantly, right? If you're wearing different bike, different levers, you have a different bike, it's gonna throw people. Yeah, the fault, right? Just simple fucking things, which are never addressed, right? It's not the fault when it's just like these drug dealers have been doing this shit for a while. So you'd think, okay, we've got this in place, we've got planned, we'll do, yeah, but no one. It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy, you know. Says there is stuff that doesn't really make any sense if you factor in certain things. You know what I mean? But people, it is an action film. You know what I mean? It's yeah, you get what you expect, right? It's action, adventure, and crime. A thinly veiled plot. But if that's what you're looking for, right? If you enjoy, I would say, the Fast and the Furious films, then this is right up your alley. You know what I mean? It's a similar thing where it's more about really the chases and the action than the story, so this is definitely made for fast fans. So yeah, people, if you know what I mean, you want a similar story but on motorbikes, no, you don't have to watch Biker Boys. You can watch Centauro over on Netflix.